Let's cover one of the most essential topics in JavaScript, variables. Let's break them down and see when to use each. Now in JavaScript, you can use three types of variables: let, const, and var. Var is an older version, and you're going to want to stick to let and const. The reason for that is let and const are block scoped, meaning they can only exist inside the block that they're declared in. So if you were to try to console.log a variable declared with let or const outside of that block, you're going to get an error message. And a block can be determined by that set of curly braces. Let is used when a value can be changed, and const is when it shouldn't be changed. And so you'll see that here. We're using let to change the score from 10 to 20. That's good to use. And we're using const for pi, 3.14. And we don't want to change that, and that's going to get you an error. Var is function scoped, and it behaves differently because of something called hoisting. Hoisting means that the variable declaration is moved to the top of its scope during execution. And so you will see in this example, even though we're console.logging before the variable is even declared, you're still going to get back a value of undefined, which can cause some confusing behavior. Let and const are also hoisted, but there's something called the temporal dead zone that's going to, it's the time between a variable is declared and when it's actually available to use. So you're going to get an error message instead. So even though the variable exists and it's hoisted, you're still going to get an error when you try to use it. And so that's why when you try to do console.log prior to a declared variable, you're going to get an error, which is more of an expected behavior. In other words, JavaScript knows that the x variable is coming, but until the line let x equals 5 is there, it's going to be off limits. The time between that or really above this declaration is going to be that temporal dead zone. So to wrap up, be sure to use const by default, use let if the value needs to change, and avoid using var.